He whacked the living daylights out of that. These fish don't know how small they are, you know what I mean?
That was a good year, Bob. That 2- and 3-year class fish, there are so many of them in the river right now.
Hey, I'm Bob Murray. Stay tuned. Smallmouth fishing on the Delaware River. It's going to be a good one. All right. That's not a bad fish. Not a bad little fish. Hey, Bob Murray, Delaware Outdoors. Blaine, thanks for inviting me up here. Blaine Bengal.
You're welcome.
Doing a little bit of smallmouth fishing on Delaware River.
Late summer smallie fishing.
Yeah. Blaine, what do we have? I mean, this time of year, it's September. What are the fish doing?
Fish are in a transition, really, right now. All summer long, we caught them in tail outs, fast water, the heads of pools, faster runs, and they're starting to make a transition out of that stuff right now. If we find baby shad in those areas, they'll be there, but they're really starting to focus on the bait.
Yeah, let's just talk a little bit about obviously we're on the Delaware River. Yeah. Shad is obviously a popular fish to spawn when they come up here. A lot of guys fish for them. But now the fish have spawned, and now the fry are doing what? Where are they going? They're going back?
The fry are migrating. The shad will spawn wherever they spawn, and we actually saw a lot of shad fry throughout the river all summer long. They were only in the 1 to 2 inch range, and you'd catch a lot of 6 to 10 or 11 inch smallies on these pods of shad. Now I'm expecting the bigger fish to start keying on these bigger shad fry. They're in that 3+ inch range now. So the bigger fish anytime now are going to start eating. They're still in a real funky summer pattern because the water's very low, but they'll start picking those migrating shad.
That's when one of my favorite times is October. Yeah. And even, well, you know, we fish November all the way through. Yeah. But when that water comes up a little bit, cools down, and these fish, the fish start to move
like
down.
A switch just clicks and the bigger fish just come out of the woodwork.
Right, and same thing in the springtime. You get those bigger fish, then they seem to like go someplace.
Yeah. And we'll pick them from time to time. Like we had yesterday, we started to see a few chasing our baits. You know, we went through a period where we were catching 50, 60, 70 smallmouth a day, and you would have 2 or 3 fish 15 inches to 18 inches. You wouldn't even see a 20.
Right.
I mean, for weeks.
Right.
You know, now yesterday we saw some of those 15 to 18s coming up and tailing our baits or coming after other fish that were hooked. So they're starting. You know, but
the only way we can do it is get the baits in the water, right?
That's it.
All right, let's go.
Oh! Get the gaff! Get the gaff!
Woo. He hooked himself. I didn't even hook him. That wasn't even fair, right? He hooked himself. Look.
He tried not to set the hook on that fish.
Yeah. When we're out here, Blaine, now the stretch of water we have right in front of us, what makes that hold fish?
It's an outer bend, first of all. I like outer bends. Outer bends, you always have current merging with a bank in an outer bend, and that creates a really cut. That creates a really let's put it this way, there's an underwater current break all the way down this bank. Because there's a shelf that comes out here. You can't see it. It comes out and it very slowly tapers, and then about 15 feet out it drops. It drops really quickly. We're sitting in 10, 11 feet of water here. And where we're throwing our baits is about 2 foot deep, 2 feet deep, and there's a lot of rocks coming off the shelf in there. And outer bends just hold fish if the bottom cover is conducive for holding them. I mean, they like current. think that's a big mistake. The biggest mistake I see people making throughout the entire year, 4 seasons out of the year, is they do not fish enough current. I mean, we caught them. You did a show with me in what, March?
Right.
We were catching them out mid-river on jerkbaits in current. You know,
Right.
it was light current, but they're still going to relate to some form of current most of the time.
Because that washes the bait
Yep.
by them, and they can
And
just.
if you look at the way the river bends here, just figure if this water is a foot or 2 feet higher, it's going to really be pushing up along this bank because it's an outer bend. I think that's a big reason why they like this area.
And one thing that I like to just go over is the fact that you read the water like that, and the average angler's got to learn that to read that water, because that might look good over there, but to really read the water and say, you know what, I see where there's an undercurrent, and we got stuff hanging in the water, we got rocks, break, stuff like that. So when you're out on the water, really try to look what you're looking at, in the sense of, I see this, I want that current break, and I want current. So when you're out on the water, look for that current break and look for the current.
You saw that hook set, right?
Let's see, we got to get this dog up here. Ah, it's a
Not as big as that last one. Another one come in with him.
Yeah. Look at the
Little fatty.
Look at the color of that fish.
He's dark.
Look at the color of that fish.
See that little belly? That's
Yeah.
a shad belly right there. That is a shad belly. Go wake your mama.
Nice fish.
These fish are killing me.
Come here.
They're tearing me up.
What we're doing here is we're going along. Come here, fishy. There you go. We're going along this bank, and the fish are actually pretty much in the shallows, Blaine, and they're coming out.
Here they are, yeah.
And what a pretty fish.
I think there's bait holding them in there.
And we're just twitching these little minnows. I guess we're kind of trying to match the hatch, in a sense, the forage fish. And it's just a little white shad lake bait, and just twitching it. And that one was kind of funny, because I twitched it, I saw the fish move up on it, and he just stopped, and I let the bait die, and then he came back after it. So a lot of times when you see that fish and he misses it the first time, don't just reel in, stop that bait. And a lot of times, like you said, that could be 2 or 3 fish following it.
I'll say the words "kill it" a lot on my trips this time of year.
Yeah. So exactly what we're doing is we're just throwing it, twitch, and then kill it. Just let it. And that bait will just trickle down like that.
It has like a little wiggle in the tail as it sinks. You know, when bait fish have what's called a death rattle right before they die, and when you kill that bait in the current, it just does that,
and then they
all the way through the current, and they think it's alive.
Right, and they'll come right up and boom. The other thing is just watch them. It's kind of fun. The other thing is you get too excited because you're going to pull it out of their mouth too. That's the other thing when you see it.
That happens a lot.
All right, I'm going to go back right over by this tree and get another one. Got me, it, everything.
There you go.
That fish, he's just swimming to everything. Look at this.
There's your 14. Put the rod tip
here. Nice fish, real nice fish. Nice fish. Look at that one.
It's a good bass.
Yeah, nice chunky.
See that mark on him?
Oh yeah.
Got a hole in it.
Yeah.
Good fish.
Nice and.
Maybe that was the one that came up on it the first time.
Yeah. We're fishing these minnow type case plastic baits, but talk about exactly where the fish are and how we're catching them. I think that's kind of important.
Yeah, that last one that I just boated, he was very obviously, I mean, that fish came up out of 8 or 9 feet of water to hit a salty shad in 2 or 3 feet below the surface. And a lot of my clients will get on my boat and they'll automatically just make a determination that you take a look at the weather conditions. Once the sun gets high and the sky's blue, the water's crystal clear, you think you'd have to go down to the fish because the fish are going to button down a little bit closer to the bottom and deeper water on cover. And I will, and it happens all the time, I will get more fish to come up on this bait than I will going down for them. They're inactive down there. If I can get them to come up and look, that automatically has created a reaction in that fish. So he will come up and react to that bait before he will sit down there and eat a tube or something.
Right, because
like that.
he's down there, they're basically just kind of resting.
Exactly.
If it catches their
They're inactive
attention,
down there.
right.
They're inactive down there, and if you can create a reaction out of an inactive fish, you've automatically made that fish more active,
aggressive,
and he'll eat it.
Right.
And the action of these baits is, it's hard to beat it. You get a little wiggle in the bait. You can twitch it and dart it. You can just kill it and it just falls dead. I mean, there's a couple different ways to fish it.
Yeah, and it stays in that, what, maybe 2 foot range, I
guess?
guess?
Yeah, unless you really let it sink.
Right.
If you just let it dead stick or sink, it'll sink because he puts a lot of salt in them.
There it goes. I got a fish on it now. Oh. Just come right out of the water.
He's
on
still
it.
on it.
Yeah.
Unless that's a different one. Did he eat it?
Yeah. He's still after it. Again, there he goes again. He's
still coming
after
it.
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
There's another one with him. Look at, there's 3 or 4 of them there.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It was a good year. He came out of that little pack of them there, 3 or 4 of them. He came right out and he didn't toy around with it either. He just grabbed it.
Yeah, one thing I like about this bait though, you got to, for the single bait that is, you got a variety of ways to fish this.
Yeah.
You can twitch it real quick, keep it up on top, or you can, make go with 6 inches under the water. You can drop it to 2 feet under.
On a day like today, the key is getting it to sink that extra. And I tell guys when I'm teaching them how to fish it, especially in fast water, the 6 inches to a foot extra you can get that bait to sink is all the difference in the world, because forever this year I've been picking fish behind clients and I'll watch the way they're fishing it and they're reeling while they're twitching. Reeling, and the bait stays right on or just under the surface. I'll throw mine out there and I'll twitch it on a slack line and the bait will just keep sinking as I'm twitching it. So it's sinking, but I'm getting this as it's sinking, and you get 2 or 3 times more bites that way. Oh, look at them all coming in. Throw your bait in there. I'm gonna let him sit there. Right where that splash just went. There were like 3 or 4 other nice fish come in with him.
Nice fish.
Yeah, he's decent. Nice little fatty. A lot of them get hooked on the bottom jaw.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Like
I said, they're coming up at it or something. They're running at it.
See, he was one of them that was eating them because he's pudgy. There were at least 3 or 4 other bass come right in with him.
Yeah, that's a cool thing. If you can, I couldn't get my line in the water fast enough. If you can hold that fish out there, those other ones will come right at it.
And they'll come right at it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times what you'll see fish, a hooked fish will regurgitate what he was just eating. And other fish will come in and they'll just grab that food that he just...
Yeah, if he blows out a minnow or a crayfish or something.
They'll come right in and they'll confiscate it.
Mentioned it. We're just going down the bank here, and Blaine looked over and he saw some shad fry, and boom, he picked up a fish.
Like clockwork this time of year.
Yeah.
Find the shad fry.
Yeah, there. Now we had some shad fry. I just got a bite in there. And if there's a, that's what they're keen on. That's all. There's a ton of them in there. Look at this. Oh,
Still after it.
Still after it.
Throw out further. Both of them swirled on it too. I know they did. They were competing for it.
Bring him in. Let's look at him.
Been a while since we caught one.
And while you have that striper on the line there, let's talk a little bit about the stripers in the river. We have a lot of them. A lot of guys, you know, really go for them, and they're fighting in there. They're in there.
They are. We get a lot of them this size. A lot of, say, 14 to 20-inch stripers. There's a lot of them in the river. We haven't done quite as many. See, that one's got broken ones. See that?
Yeah.
Got broken lines. There's a lot of short ones in the river, and they're usually more active in the spring, and the bigger ones are much more active in the spring. If you want to get the trophies, you want to fish when the herring and the shad are coming up the river. The smaller ones at this time of year, I'm not 100% accurate, or I'm not sure if I'm accurate on this, but I believe quite a few of these fish are resident fish now. I don't think a lot of these short ones are going back to the ocean. I really think they're staying in the river, yeah.
I've caught
them right through October.
Exactly, yeah, through October.
Yep. So I don't think they're going back, really. That one that was with that fish was probably at least a 20 or 22-inch fish. He was bigger.
Now, do you find them like in packs or pods, or do you just?
A lot of times
if you hit one, you're going to hit.
Typically, this is not an area I would expect them. They like current. They really like good current, deeper current. The guys that caught them in the springtime when they were shad fishing, they caught a lot of stripers in the spring shad fishing. A lot of the guys I talked to, and they're all right out in the channel, you know, following the shad up the river.
There you go. Those fish fight hard, don't they?
It's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Skinny mini, man, you need to eat. Stop. You got it in the top of the jaw. Dude, stop. Come on.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's a nice fish.
Aren't they pretty? I just love the color on those fish. It's just like bronze for that reason, you know? Nice fish. These fish are fun. I'm telling you. You got to come out here in the fall, get on the river, and enjoy this. This is this is what it's all about.
Good looking fish.
Nice fish. Nice fish. Come here. Well, this white tackle, man, this guy's a bruiser. He's a bruiser. Look at this rod. It's bending like anything.
He's going to make a good 4-pounder someday, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's a good fish.
That's a
good fish.
Come here. Nice fish. Look at the color on that fish. Oh my goodness. Look at that. That fish fought like he was 4 pounds. I'm going to tell you that right now. Nice fish. Beautiful fish. They're in this little hole. This ain't going up. He saw the boat. He didn't like that. Come here. This is so much fun on this light tackle. This is so much fun. Again, right up to the bottom of the lip. Right there.
That's nuts. That fish is from the outside in.
Yeah.
He did a little swirl on it.
A nice little fish. Look at that. God, I love it. Go back. Again, Blaine, you're picking little spots. Now, what makes this spot any better than, say, out there?
It's a tail out, and what I mean by a tail out, that spot up there where we had those couple of flurries, that's deeper, slower water. Mm-hmm. A tail out is where deeper, slower pools or runs start to shallow up and the current picks up. For whatever reason, one primary reason would be insects. Mm-hmm. Insects will hatch at the tops of your rapids here. See, wherever you have rapids, you'll have insect hatches. We always look for the swallows. When the swallows are real active picking bugs in these areas, a lot of times you'll have cruising smallmouth. Uh-huh. This spot was a really good one throughout a pretty long portion of the summer, and it had kind of started to tail off. I think the reason why they're in this little area, there's a deep little trough right here with a ledge. Mm-hmm. I think that's why they'll hold here. They'll hold here, and again, if the bait are around,
they'll come out on the flat and feed, and just come back in there. Yep. They don't have to fight too much current. They're in
this flat, you know, the better the chunk rock on the tail out, the more prolific.
Yeah, there's more stuff there.
The fish are going to be there. Yeah, there's going to be many more fish there. The smoother ones, you know, you'll get them on tailouts, on smoother tailouts with like the cobblestone or gravel when the light's down.
And now for a closer look at today's tackle, Delaware Valley Outdoors presents the Tackle Box. For more information about the tackle used on today's show, go to DelawareValleyOutdoors.com.
Well, Blaine, we're here with the tackle box section of the show, and basically it was it was a one bait deal today because the fish were on that bait. Yeah. But you know, you're out on the water, you know, every day, and other things, you know, will catch fish. The soft stick bait you got here, what's this one?
That's a Mismo quiver stick. Senkos, most people know a soft stick bait as a Senko,
but it's
but there's many different companies that'll make a copy of a Senko. Now that's Mismo's copy. It's called a quiver stick. You can wacky rig it or Texas rig it, and it's basically a do nothing bait. The biggest mistake I see people make with that is they move it too much. You just basically throw it. It quivers as it falls. It kind of shimmies, and then you lift up your rod tip and you do it again and you do it again, and if you see the line swim off or you feel any weight on it, you set the hook. It's a very good bait for people to learn how to fish.
And color-wise, you like this color, right?
Green pumpkin or watermelon. Mm-hmm. If the fish are on the shad fry, like if they're in the pods of shad and it's cloudy, I might go to a lighter color one, a white or cream, that kind of thing.
Two baits.
Two bait.
Again, how do you fish this?
Put you can do it a couple different ways. You can either Texas rig it with a bullet weight and like a 3 or 4/0 hook. You can Texas rig it with an insert style head, or you can just put a jig head up through the hollow body of the tube, and it's a bottom bouncing bait. So you know, the pattern the way it is now with suspended fish, most fish right now will hit it on the fall. That just seems to be where their visibility as far as feeding is up in the water column right now, so they'll hit it as it falls.
Now we're in the fall of the season here, fall season. Do you fish this more in the fall, or when's the best time do you like this? I know a lot of people fish it all the time, but when's your best time?
Tubes can be fished 4 seasons out of the year. My favorite time to fish it is when the water is, I'd say, below 60. High water, it's a great bait. When the fish are tight to cover, it's a good bait to get cover, bottom cover, because it'll sink. You put the weight in and it'll sink. And you know, annually we catch many of our big fish in it too.
And color-wise, you like this color?
For this time of year, yeah. Most times of the year, I'll throw green pumpkin or watermelon. This time of the year, when the fish are focused on shad.
Because of that shad.
We'll
Now, speaking of another kind of a shad bait here, what we have here?
That's a Rapala X-Wrap. Team Daiwa makes another slash bait. Rebels, your typical basic minnow baits. And the way we fish it very quick, erratically, you know, get it, and then pause. And when you pause it and go to twitch it again, that's usually when you get your bites.
Now, size-wise, you like this size?
I like that one because it imitates the shad best, but people come out here with the next size up, the 4-inch size, and they do fine.
Okay, now we'll talk about our last bait, but the bait we used most of the day. Tell me about this one.
That's a case salty shad. That's the 3-inch. That's actually the salty minnow. The 5-inch is the salty shad. That bait, Charlie Case Plastics, he loads it up with salt, and that does two things. The salt, number one, it allows fish to hold on to it longer because it tastes more natural to them. Number two, it allows it to sink at a faster rate. And when that bait sinks, the tail shimmies, and then on some light twitches up or to the side, it'll dart through the water column, it'll dart through the current, and it imitates an injured or dying bait.
Yeah, and it's really easy bait to use. I mean, on a spinning rod, it works real well. You just throw it out there and then let it go. You can work
they're
it
heavy enough to throw on bait casting gear.
And it's now again, we use this one basically because it matched the shad in the water today, and it was just worked. It worked great. We went through a ton of them because they're soft and they rip and that kind of stuff. You can really go through them, and that's it. One other thing I just want to talk about: the light rod I had today. You have your rod that you had. It's a lot of fun catching these fish on this light tackle. 4-pound test, that's all you need, maybe 6-pound if you're really crazy. But really it's a lot of fun, and you catch a lot of fish, and it's just a heck of an enjoyable time. And that's the tackle box. Nice fish.
Oh.
And we got doubles. And we got doubles.
I'm throwing up shad.
Blaine, I want to thank you an awful lot for taking me out fishing here.
It was a pleasure.
Got doubles, smallies. Hey, I'm Bob Murray, Delaware Valley Outdoors. Don't forget to go to our website, Delaware Valley Outdoors, for fishing reports from Blaine, stories, articles that you write for us. Hey, I'll see you on the water. Oh, came out.
That's a good fish.
It came off! No! No! Did you see that fish? All right. Yeah, he's coming.
Yeah, that's a much better fish.